The other day I did a video on the K&F Concepts filter, the black mist filter. And apparently people didn't understand or didn't know where I was coming from. And they're professional photographers for many years, so buy another lens or... I'm gonna put this bluntly because I don't want to be nice anymore. I try to explain things, and if I didn't explain it correctly, I apologize, it's my fault. But I have the 50 Apo, I love this lens. It is the perfect lens for me for commercial work. It just works very, very well, the 60 megapixel sensor. It's the only one so far that I am completely thoroughly satisfied with this camera and this lens combo. And the 35 Apo Voigtlander, to be fair. They're both fantastic and they both render perfectly on this sensor. Now, for portrait work, which I do, rather than having another lens, like I have the 41.2, rather than having another lens or having to go out and buy another lens or search for another lens for portraits that gives me that nice skin tone, I figured, hey, why not try a $35 or $40, whatever it is, black mist filter, use the same lens, save a lot of money, and if it works, I have the best of two worlds in one lens. Plus no chromatic aberrations on, a character lens. The other thing is, when I talk about character, I'm not telling you what you like for character, what a character lens is. I'm telling you what I like personally for character. Character for me is a nice smooth skin tone without being overly sharp and digital and too micro contrasty on the skin. That's my kind of character. So when I put the black mist on here and tried it, it's the 1/4, it worked perfectly. It gave me the look I want. Now I have one lens and just one filter rather than having to buy two lenses. Now, I know a lot of you, like to collect the gear, like to collect the lenses, and that's great. I think it's a great thing to do because if you love the product, if you love lenses, collect them, use them. For me, I've been doing this, let me put this correctly, I've been doing this professionally, making my image or money off of photography for the past 40 plus years. Okay, this is what I do for a living. I don't do anything else. It's not a hobby. It's not a part-time job. This is what I do. Okay, so as much as I have an M11 or a Hasselblad X1D, money isn't grown on trees for me. Okay, when I buy gear, it's going to last me a long, long time, and these lenses need to last me a long time, and I need to justify the purchase. So I can't say, well, I'm going to have 10 lenses. I'm going to sell my 41.2 because of this combo. And I love the 41.2. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great rendering lens. I think it's really has some character to it. Again, character that I like. But I don't like chromatic aberrations. I hate them with a passion, and I don't want to spend hours fixing them in Photoshop. That being said, with the 50mm and the K&F Concept Black Mist 1/4, this lens gives me the best of both worlds without having to buy two lenses. Now, I believe the comment was, why wouldn't you just get a 12 megapixel camera and shoot portraits with that? And I'm sorry, if I need to explain that in any which way, shape, or form, I'm talking to the wrong person, and this is definitely the wrong channel for you. And like I said, I hate to be blunt or even mean, but just common sense kind of stuff tells you that if you can use one lens that does everything for you and is corrected perfectly, and just throw a filter on it and get a whole different look out of it for what you need for another subject, it makes sense. So I'm not a gear pusher. I'm not going to say, here's the shiny new lens, this is what it does, and you need to go out and buy it. I'll never do that. With something like a filter like this, I'm going to try it. If it works, I'm going to say, hey, go buy it. If it doesn't, I'm going to tell you not to. And I will leave the link for this, because I make 10% off every one of these. I'm going to make major money on this. Anyway, you can use any black mist, it doesn't matter, but I do like the K&F with this lens. It worked out well. I like the low profile, and again, these ridges on here are really deep, so if you do get stuck, it's easy to get off. Little things like that matter. Anyway, I just wanted to explain this a little bit more in detail for those of you who didn't get it and need the wash, rinse, repeat theory. Having a lens that you love that does the job for you, that is that spectacular, and being able to throw a filter on it and have it do something else, all in one little package is a big thing. And this to me is a big thing because there's not many lenses that can render this 60 megapixel sensor the way it should be rendered. The Voigtlander 50 Apo is one of them, and the 35 Apo. I'm sure the Leica 50 and 35 Apo will do the same thing. I just don't have an extra $18,000 to spend. And believe me, if they're as sharp as contrasty as this one, and give me that kind of rendering, I'd still be throwing a black mist on them as well. That's just what I'm saying. I just wanted to clarify. I'm sorry about the rant, but like I said, this channel is not a gearhead kind of channel. It's not buy a shiny new camera, buy an old camera, I do this for a living, and I have to, justify my purchases, and I will always be honest with you. I may not always be right, but I will always be honest with you. That being said, I hope this helped explain my last video for some of you that didn't understand. If you do have the 50 Apo and you're using it on a higher megapixel sensor camera, and you want to try that softer look, this black mist works well. I didn't try any other but the 1/4, but this I'm very, very happy with. And for all my portraits, this is going to stay on it because it works well. And when I do a commercial job for clothing and so forth, or product, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to have the perfect commercial portrait lens. That's simple. Again, I hope that worked out for you. I hope that explained it. Thanks for watching as always.